Now this video, it's going to be the weekly forecast for next week. But before I start with the weekly forecast, let us take a look at the 3-month candle for the indices futures. So right here, looking at the 3 months candle, we have this fair value gap down here for ES and no fair value gaps for NQ. The nearest fair value gap would be this fair value gap right over here. Is it possible that we take out April's low and then higher? That is totally possible, right? Basing off from this 3 months chart. But if you take a look at the monthly chart, it doesn't make sense, because right down here is your bullish order block, and price should respect this bullish order block in order to go higher. But the problem here is that this bullish order block is in premium relative to the current dealing range, right? So moving on towards next week, I will be bearish. There are a couple reasons why, and I will give it to you. Reason number one, I'm going to mark out this monthly fair value gap, and then I'm going to mark out this bullish order block for the monthly candle, and then we are going down into the weekly time frame. Now if you take a look at the weekly time frame, currently our order flow is bearish. It's so bearish that we don't even respect the monthly fair value gap on the weekly time frame. We have even closed below the monthly fair value gap on the weekly time frame. So this tells me that the monthly time frame, that monthly fair value gap, is very weak for ES, because the weekly candle, which is a lower time frame candle, wasn't able to respect that PDRA. So in ICT concepts, low time frames should always be subordinate to the higher time frames. This is not what we are seeing right now. The other thing is that down here we have two down close candles, and even using the weekly PDRA, this should be a bullish fair value gap. But right here, as you can see, for this week we have closed below the bullish fair value gap. So this is another indication of why we are most likely going to go lower next week. If you take a look at NQ, this fibs is anchored to the monthly bullish order block. We have traded down into the high of the bullish order block, and usually for order blocks we trade into them about 25% of the entire order block. So if you take a look at where 25% is, right here you have a swing low, a weekly candle swing low around the 25% of that bullish order block. So this to me is like a low hanging fruit for next week. Looking at the economic calendar, we have news event on Monday and Thursday, and that's pretty much it. So for next week Monday, I am assuming that we are going to gravitate lower without any strong pullbacks. Especially for NQ, we are most likely going to take out this swing low here in the first half of the week, probably even Monday, because we have a 10 o'clock news driver on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday it's blank. So if anything, price would like to expand or manipulate, it is going to be on Monday. Okay, so depending on what the first half of the week is going to do, I think Thursday it's going to provide a reversal. So to me at this point in time, it makes much more sense for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to drop lower, and then Thursday you get that retracement, because ultimately right now, as you can see, we are 3 down close candles in for the weekly candle. Usually you don't really get more than 3 down close candles in one single retracement. Usually you don't get that. Okay, so right here, over here we have 4, but look at the size of the candles. It's different as compared to here. And if you look at here, ES, 3 candles, 2 candles, 4 candles, 3 candles, 3 candles on NQ, 2 candles. So right here you see this pattern here. We seldom get more than 3 candles, large range candles, for the weekly time frame if it is going to be a retracement. Okay, so usually after 3 down close candles, you're gonna probably get a up close candle, and that is going to be your next bearish order block if price is to continue lower. All right, and yeah, I think that's about it for the weekly forecast. Right, so let me just repeat what are the low-hanging fruits. For me, if you look at NQ, the low-hanging fruit would be this swing low here, and below the swing low we have this inefficiency. That would be my low-hanging fruit for NQ. For ES, I'll have to drop it down into the daily time frames, because down there you will have this relative equal low and this inefficiency down here. Right, I would be okay to use this rejection block as well. Okay, because right now NQ, it's the leadership in bearishness, so it should drop much more lower than ES, which is why I have more conservative targets for ES as compared to NQ. Right, and that's pretty much it for this video here. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comments section down below, and if you like what you see, if you gain some insights, do leave a like. Right, and good luck trading next week. I'll talk to you again.